Hey guys, welcome back to Cheat Day Sports. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Um, we had the college football playoff rankings drop yesterday. So let's just get right into it and talk about those. We had some games that I did not pick very well at all yesterday in our MACtion for the week. But we'll talk about those. We'll talk about the other MACtion games we have going on. We're going to talk about where and what I think about the playoff rankings that dropped last night. But if we take a look, shout out to Ball State getting the game-winning field goal. I didn't think they had it in them to beat Northern Illinois. I thought Northern Illinois was a pretty solid team, but shout out to Ball State. And then Central Michigan, I guess they didn't have Connor Stallions on their sidelines. I didn't get a chance to watch this game, but shout out Western Michigan. And then I definitely picked the Ohio Buffalo game wrong a little bit. Ohio's pretty decent. I think they're sitting at second in their division in the MAC. So shout out Ohio for getting the dub. But let's just jump right in to these playoff rankings and look. Nothing. The top four didn't change. The top 8 I don't think changed at all. So we still got Ohio State 1, Georgia at 2, Michigan at 3, and Florida State at number 4, and then Washington at number 5 for the last of the unbeatens. Then Oregon 6, Texas 7, Bama 8, Ole Miss 9, Penn State 10, Louisville 11, and Oregon State at number 12. We'll just go about looking at this. I don't think, if it was me, I would have swapped Georgia and Ohio State just because I'm looking at it as a week-to-week basis too. You have the eye test, you have the resume, strength of schedule. You have all that they're going off of. But if you look at it week to week too, if 1 and 2, if one has a better win than the other, Georgia beat pretty good scrappy Missouri team. And then Ohio State, they beat Rutgers, but it wasn't a beat down by any means. I would have swapped those two, 1 and 2. I would have left Michigan at 3. They haven't really been tested yet. Down the stretch, they do play Penn State and then Ohio State to round out the year. So we're going to find out more about Michigan with that whole scandal. I made a TikTok saying, just ban them. And then Stephen A on Monday, I think, was like, they need to permanently be banned, strip everything away. The only thing I agree on is if the NCAA, if the Big Ten has the evidence to pin against them, get it done now rather than later. I think it'll just benefit everybody. Yeah, it sucks for the kids. A lot of people are saying, well, the kids had nothing to do. But the kids, yeah, but there's consequences to everything, and John Harbaugh saying that he has no idea what was going on. That's crazy. If you're a head coach and you don't know what's going on, you have a guy on your sideline, that makes no sense for him to say he doesn't know. So, with all that set aside, I don't think they're going to do anything, especially with this playoffs and everything being this close. I don't think they're going to do anything. So leave that there. Michigan at 3, Florida State at 4. Like I said, I would have switched them and Washington. For just the eye test, Washington's win over Oregon looks a lot. I think it looks better than Florida State's win over LSU. But that's just me. So I would have swapped those two. And then there's a lot of people saying it's outrageous that Oregon's at number 6. I don't know how you say that, especially saying Oregon doesn't. Okay, Oregon lost to the 5th best team. They beat a Utah team. What people are saying, Utah's overrated, whatever. This is the best defense that Utah's had probably ever. I would say, and I'm just saying that, I'm a Utah fan, blah, 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 but for me watching, I will say it's the best defense that Utah's had, and for Oregon just to do whatever they wanted to them, I think that number 6 is fitting for them to be right there. And you can't say that Greg McElroy, he was a quarterback for Bama. So surprised he's outraged that Bama's below Oregon. But Alabama plays Chattanooga to close out the year. And he's saying like, oh, are we just supposed to be impressed with Oregon's win over Cal? You better keep that same energy when Bama goes and blows out Chattanooga. And you're like, well, that was a great win. No, you can't be saying that because you're talking crap on Oregon for blowing out a Cal team, which, I mean, Cal can score. They've shown it. They're not the best in the Pac-12, but I mean, they certainly can score, and Oregon just handled them. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, honestly, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if I'm sold on Bama. They have gotten a lot better, especially I think them benching the Milroe kid towards the beginning of the year was a total mistake. That kid's too good of an athlete, and he has a good enough arm to win you games. I just think that was a complete mistake by Nick Saban and the whole coaching staff. But all three, though, I mean, Oregon and Texas, you could flip if you really wanted to. And then we have Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss could surprise some people because I actually think, let's see, I think Ole Miss, do they play, is it Georgia this week? I think Ole Miss plays. Let's take a look. I might have already. Yeah, Georgia and Ole Miss. That's going to be a huge game. I mean, Ole Miss only has one loss, and it was to Bama, but I mean, you beat Georgia, you leapfrog, and especially say Washington loses, Georgia loses this weekend. Say Michigan loses to Penn State. Who else? Say Oregon loses to USC. You could have Ole Miss jump maybe top 4 if they can beat Georgia, which, I mean, good on them. Jackson Dart's playing amazing. Lane Kiffin has that team looking like they could compete with anybody. So, I mean, you could have a lot of turn of events in these rankings this weekend. Then we have number 10 Penn State. I mean, I'm okay with it. Penn State, I mean, they do have a good defense. That offense is kind of stagnant. I mean, they can score on middle of the row Power 5 teams, but I don't think Penn State's offense is good enough to win them a game against like Georgia, or I mean, you saw them against Ohio State, but we'll see them against Michigan. They could surprise some people. Louisville at 11, I'm okay with that. Louisville, I mean, they only have one loss too. Some things go their way, they could end up being in the top 4 too, especially if they make it to if Florida State and Louisville makes it to the ACC championship game. Florida State being undefeated in Louisville only have one loss. You could have Louisville making the playoffs if they can win that game. Then we have Oregon State at 12. Oregon State has a solid defense. I don't like how they're trying to get the child's kid reps. I mean, either have him start. I understand trying to get him reps for the future, get him like used to playing and in some big time football games. But if DJ Uiagalelei is your starter, like just let him play it out. Like, you're just disrupting rhythm. I don't think that's good. Like coaching on that part, but I mean, if they want to give him the experience, go ahead. I don't think Oregon State they could lose another game. They have a big game with Oregon towards the end of the year. It's actually their last regular season game, conference game, but I don't know. I think Oregon, there are some teams lower, like Missouri, I think is a little bit better than Oregon State, but I'm okay with them being there. Let me know what you guys think, who you guys think should be in the top 12. And I'm just looking at it from all these arguments and everything would be out the window if the 12 team format were just to be in this year. because especially you get all the conference champs get their automatic bid, which I think is great. And then the next 8 best teams get in, which I think would do great. And you have people I've seen take saying that moving to 12 team format is going to ruin college football. And they're saying that you play the 12 games, like starting from the beginning of the season. If you lose, you're out. Pretty much saying that for all the games before the play, like the actual playoffs and everything, are your playoff games. I'm like, that's the dumbest take I've ever heard. Like, I don't know why. It just brings more dynamic. Say you have a 3-loss team coming to the conference championship game like Utah did the last 2 years, and they end up winning, then they get a shot in the playoffs, given they lost Ohio State and Penn State in the Rose Bowl, which I don't think they would have done anything in the playoffs. But with the 12 team format, there's just so much unknown and excitement I think it brings. I just think it's going to be great for college football starting next year. But yeah, if we just take a look at, we have some more MACtion. This is how we'll end the video today, is just taking a look at the games we have. The first one we have is Akron at Miami. And I don't think Akron has any shot to win this game. Miami's pretty good. So I'm just going to go with Miami in this game, Miami of Ohio. Then we have Bowling Green, Kent State. I picked Kent State to get the win against Akron, and then they blew like a 2-touchdown lead against them. So, I don't think they're going to win a conference game at all. So I'm going to take Bowling Green in that. And then we have Eastern Michigan at Toledo. And I think Toledo's just going to run away with the MAC. Unless Miami of Ohio can find a way to stop them in the MAC championship game, Toledo's just going to run that conference. So I'm going to take Toledo in that one. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Who you guys think should be in the top 12. If anybody, even in the top 4, what you guys think should be moving around in there. But hey, I hope you guys all have a great cheat day. We have more football, we have basketball, we have college basketball now. But yeah, just enjoy your day. Go grab a slice of pizza, and just have a great day. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.